Hola there, mi amigo, and welcome to another episode of Exercises Inside My House. Welcome to your session 3. This is more of an optional session. I'd say those first 2 are a bigger priority. So if you would like, at first, you can just start off doing the first 2 sessions on maybe like a Monday and a Thursday, or you could do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and just alternate between those 2. I don't want you to get too head caught up with things, but this one's more just for giving you a little bit of variety as opposed to anything else. The first exercise that we're going to get onto is just a basic breathing one, where we're just going to lay down, we're going to pull everything as tight as we can, and we're just going to try and do some controlled breathing in this position. So I would just have you laying down onto your back, bring your knees up into the air. We're on an exhale initially. Pull everything up. Try and pull your belly button into the back of your spine, and then we're just going to hold this position for up to 30 seconds and try and breathe in against it. So keep that contraction there. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And every time we breathe in through the nose, the stomach, it's alright if this gets a little bit inflated. We want to think more inflating the stomach rather than inflating the chest. But keep everything tight and compact. So into the belly, and then, and as we're breathing out, we want to continue to try and flatten that stomach more. We're just going to do them for up to 30 seconds. And then after that, we're going to follow up with some dead bugs, which, if you remember with this one, I hope there's enough room in here for this. You want to lay yourself down onto your back. I'm going to have your arms straight up in the air and your knees straight up in the air. And we're just going to extend one arm and the opposite leg at the same time. So if I extend my left arm, I'm going to slowly extend that right leg. Keeping that belly button pulled into the back of the spine, exhaling as I'm going out. And then I'm going to breathe in as I'm coming back. Swapping over those arms and legs. And for this one, we're more going to go for repetitions rather than time. We're looking at building up to about 15 repetitions at a time. So when you first start off with this, the main thing that you're going to be focusing on is just control of those muscle groups. Like, we want to be trying to keep as much core tension as we can do. And if we do the movement slowly enough, you should be able to feel some muscles around your belly button to hip having a bit of extra work inside there. We want to focus on that part of the contraction beyond anything else. But it's normal if you get a little bit of hip flexor burn in doing this. And you obviously want to try and keep your lower back as flat against the floor as you can do as well. If you have a little arch inside there, that might cause you a little issue or two. But yeah, we're going to build up to 15 repetitions, focus on movement quality over the quantity. So even if you just start off with 4 or 5 at first, that's absolutely okay. Just try and add a repetition each workout if you can do. The next exercise that we're going to get onto is going to be one for your mid and lower trapezius and your rotator cuffs, which is the teres minor pull apart. You can use either this band or this band for this one. I prefer to use glute bands and just start off with a really light one at first. But you're just going to grab hold of the band with an underhand grip, get your elbows pinned into your sides, pull your shoulder blades back and down, and we're just going to gently pull this band apart as much as we can do with your elbows in, but then we're going to keep pulling and your elbows are going to initially drift out from your sides there. So if we try and have a look out, get a bit closer, keep the elbows in and in, we're pulling, and then at that end range there, we're going to pull even more. Those elbows are going to come away from those sides. We're just going to try and keep as chest proud as we can do throughout the entire time. The band does not have to come across your tummy. We just want to try and pull these arms out until they're at a little bit past like 45 degrees. So a little bit past diagonal is going to be great. We're going to be looking at doing sets of up to 10 to 15 reps at a time with them. And it should feel nice and burny up around the back of your shoulder just there. And it might feel a little bit burny around there as well. So after that, the next thing that we're going to get onto is just a great movement for the quads. It's going to be some wall sits. We're not going to worry about doing these with a foam roller or nothing like that. Just do them against the wall for the moment, and it's going to burn more than you might remember. All we're going to do is get your back flat against the wall. You're going to walk your feet out in front of you a little bit. We want to start off doing this movement at about a 30 to 45 degree angle, so anything between diagonal to a little bit higher than that. You're going to get your feet fairly far out in front of you so that these shins are either completely vertical or a little bit slopey. And we're just going to hold your back against the wall. You want to cue those knees to get pushing out. And we're just going to hold this position here for up to 60 seconds at a time. Once you can build up to 60 seconds, you can slowly start to lower that position down. So you can get a little bit more stress placed in those quads. And in the end, ideally, we'd like to build up to a place where the hips are just a little bit below the knees or in parallel with the knees, and we can hold this position for up to about 30 seconds at a time. 60 seconds would be a bonus, but I think for the moment, if we can build up just 30 seconds in that bottom position, would be a huge win. And then the next exercise we're getting onto, sorry, I'm just looking at a little screen, is going to be the bent knee calf raise. So a bent knee calf raise looks like this. As you can see, main thing I'm doing is I'm just going hand against the wall. I'm going to sit myself down until there's an angle with my knees. It can be anything between about here all the way down into a crouching position really, and this will just make it more difficult. But we mainly just want to get a little bend that comes to about 45 degrees at least. Get your hands against an object, so it can be a wall, it can be a chair, anything like that's going to be fine. You're going to lean your weight forward a little bit, and then you're just going to press up onto your toes as high as you can do. And you want to think more about trying to close the gap between your heels and your ankle, rather than just pressing up on your toes, and that kind of gives a better cue to come a little bit higher up onto those toes. The reason why we do this with a bent knee instead of with straight legs is when we do it with a straight leg, the part of the calf that we work is this part called the gastrocnemius. And we need a straight leg because we need it to be able to kind of stretch in the hamstrings a bit as well, because the gastrocnemius, as it comes up, it inserts into the bottom of the hamstrings. It doesn't insert below the knee, it inserts above the knee. But the muscle that we're going to be working doing this is one called the soleus, and the soleus inserts below the knee. So if we want to cut out the gastrocnemius completely, we just bend those knees down and the gastrocnemius is all of a sudden relaxed, and the soleus is going to do all the work for us. Working this part of the calf is going to help the arch of your feet get stronger over time, and it's going to be a lovely jubbly movement to do for the rest of ever. So yeah, with that one we're going to be looking at doing 3 sets of up to 25 reps at a time. You might find that up to about 15 reps bends initially, but 25 reps is what we kind of want to try and build up to with that movement. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this, Hazel. Much love, amigo.